She wasn't looking for love, she was hunting power. Not just any power, the kind that made alphas bow their heads and shatter like fragile glass beneath her fingertips. Lilith had burned through 6 already. 6 men who thought strength alone could conquer her. But strength without dominance was just lust. And lust was a game they all lost. Now the 7th waited bigger, darker, more ruthless than the rest. A shadow lurking beneath the city's glittering surface, whispered about with fear and reckless fascination. Was he the one who could finally break her? Or would he end up like the others? Another body under her command. Another pawn crushed in her game of seduction and submission. Every kiss was a dare. Every touch, a battle. And Lilith was ready to burn down the whole pack to find the alpha who could tame her wild heart. The bar was thick with smoke and secrets, the hum of murmured deals and clinking glasses filling the heavy air. Lilith slipped through the crowd like a ghost wrapped in silk and danger. Her eyes scanned every shadow, every face. Hunting. Tonight, she was the hunter. The door creaked open, slicing through the haze with a rush of cold air. Heads turned. She saw him, the 7th. Tall, broad-shouldered, with eyes like storms threatening to drown everything in their path. The kind of man who owned every room without saying a word. A slow, dangerous smile curved his lips as he locked eyes with hers. The game had begun. Before we dive deeper into this deadly dance of passion and power, pause for a moment. Like this story if you crave a love that's as dangerous as it is intoxicating. Share it with someone who loves stories where hearts break and fires ignite. And don't forget to subscribe for more tales that will pull you into their dark, irresistible worlds. Welcome to MG's Love Stories, where passion burns, hearts break, and you can't stop watching. Don't just listen, feel it. Like this story? Share, subscribe, and let's dive in. Lilith moved through the night with a predator's grace, every step a silent challenge to the men who thought they could claim her. But they never lasted. The 7th was different. He was the storm she'd been waiting for, the fire she could neither ignore nor control. And tonight, she would find out if he was the alpha who could finally break her, or the one who would burn with her. Lilith's story was written in fire and scars. They called her a mystery, a temptress, a storm wrapped in beauty and shadow. She wasn't born into power, she hunted it. 6 times before, she had tested the strongest men in the city's dark underbelly. 6 alphas who thought they could own her. The first was Reckless Flame, hot, wild, and short-lived. She destroyed him with a whispered secret and a kiss that burned like acid. The second was Cold Steel, sharp and cutting. He fought harder, but his control slipped through his fingers like water. She unraveled him piece by piece. The third was a Storm, chaotic and unpredictable. She rode the chaos until it swallowed him whole. The fourth was a Mountain, solid but with cracks she found in his silence. She bared her soul when he least expected, and he crumbled. The 5th was a Wolf in silk, deceptive, sly. She played his game better until he begged for mercy in her bed. The 6th, he was almost the one who tamed her, the only one who saw beneath her armor. He nearly rewrote her rules, but he failed. And now the 7th waited in the shadows. The city breathed with danger and desire, a maze of neon lights and dark corners where power was currency and trust was a weakness. Lilith walked this city like a queen of ashes, her heart a fortress built on pain and fire. She didn't believe in love. Not anymore. Love was a weapon wielded by the weak. Power was the only truth. Her thoughts drifted to the 7th alpha, the ghost in the city's whispers. They said he ruled not just with strength but with fear. His name was spoken quietly by those who'd seen his wrath and survived. Lilith wasn't afraid. She was ready. Their first meeting was electric, a collision of wills in a crowded room. He didn't just see her. He felt her fire and met it with a darkness that promised chaos and control. He challenged her. She challenged back. Their battle was just beginning. Lilith remembered the 6th alpha's warning, whispered with regret. He's not like the others, he said. He's darkness you can't outrun. But Lilith didn't run. She hunted. The 7th alpha's eyes held secrets Lilith wanted to unravel, and fears she wanted to conquer. She knew this wasn't just a game. It was a war, and only one would survive. If you're hooked on Lilith's hunt and the battle for power, drop a comment below. Who do you think the 7th alpha really is? Like and share if you're ready for more dark passion and dangerous love. The seventh alpha didn't make a move right away. Instead, he watched her with that stormy gaze, measuring, waiting. Lilith could feel the weight of his stare, heavy and unyielding like the silence before a thunderclap. He was different from the others, quiet, controlled, and absolutely sure of himself. The kind of man who never wasted words but made every look count. She stepped closer, her breath steady, heart racing beneath the armor she wore like second skin. "Why do you hunt me?" he asked, voice low, almost a growl. Lilith smiled, a dangerous curve of lips. "I'm not the prey." He tilted his head, amused. "Good, because I don't intend to catch you." Their first conversation was a battlefield of words, each sentence loaded with challenge, every pause a test of dominance. He spoke of control. She spoke of freedom. He talked about power earned. She replied with power taken. The bar around them faded into a blur, just two forces colliding in a dance older than time. Lilith reached out, her fingers brushing his wrist, a spark of electricity igniting between them. His eyes darkened. "Bold," he murmured. She leaned closer. "Dangerous." Their first night together wasn't just passion. It was war. Each touch was a challenge. Each kiss a declaration. Neither willing to yield. Over the following days, their encounters became a series of power plays. Testing boundaries, pushing limits, discovering cracks beneath the surface. Lilith saw flashes of vulnerability in the seventh alpha. Moments when the darkness slipped and something raw peeked through, and she guarded her own weaknesses fiercely. He surprised her one rainy evening, appearing unannounced at her favorite rooftop refuge. The city sprawled beneath them, lights twinkling like distant stars. "I don't want this to be a game," he said, voice serious, stripped of its usual edge. Lilith looked at him, searching for the lie. "Then don't make it one." For a moment, the storm behind his eyes softened, but the peace was brief. In their world, trust was a weapon, and love was the sharpest blade of all. The sixth alpha's shadow still lingered, haunting memories that threatened to pull Lilith back into old patterns of pain and mistrust. And the seventh alpha's past wasn't clean either. Secrets bubbled beneath the surface, waiting to explode. Every step closer was a risk. Every touch could burn. Yet, neither could stay away. If you're caught in Lilith and the seventh alpha's deadly dance, drop a like and comment on who you think will crack first. Share the story to pull your friends into the fire. The seventh alpha wasn't just a force of nature. He was a fortress. Lilith found herself standing at the edge of his walls, daring to peer inside. But the closer she got, the more she realized some darkness was deeper than hers. One night, beneath the fractured glow of city lights, they sat side by side on a rooftop overlooking a restless skyline. Silence stretched between them, thick and heavy. Then, without warning, he broke it. "I wasn't always the man they whisper about in fear," he said, voice low, raw. Lilith glanced at him, curiosity flickering behind her guarded eyes. "I lost someone once, someone I loved. It shattered me, made me who I am." Her own breath hitched. For the first time, Lilith felt the weight of his pain, not as a rival, but as a man broken beneath the mask. She hesitated before whispering, "I know loss. It teaches you to build walls." He nodded, and sometimes, those walls become prisons. For the first time, the fierce hunt softened into fragile understanding. But trust wasn't given freely. It had to be earned in the fire of truth. Their fragile bond was tested when an unexpected visitor from Lilith's past appeared. The sixth alpha. He brought anger, regrets, and unresolved tension. "You think you can move on?" He spat at her. "You're still chained to what we had." Lilith's eyes burned with defiance. "I'm not chained. I'm free." The seventh alpha stepped forward, a silent warning in his stance. Secrets began to unravel. The seventh alpha's past wasn't as clean as it seemed. Whispers of betrayals and dark debts shadowed him. Lilith's walls trembled, not with fear, but with the possibility that power was a mask hiding wounds deeper than either of them wanted to face. The tension between them thickened. Each moment weighted with unspoken truths. Every touch, every look became a test of whether they could survive the storm they were creating. The seventh alpha wasn't just a force of nature. He was a fortress. Lilith found herself standing at the edge of his walls, daring to peer inside. But the closer she got, the more she realized some darkness was deeper than hers. One night, beneath the fractured glow of city lights, they sat side by side on a rooftop overlooking a restless skyline. Silence stretched between them, thick and heavy. Then, without warning, he broke it. "I wasn't always the man they whisper about in fear," he said, voice low, raw. Lilith glanced at him, curiosity flickering behind her guarded eyes. "I lost someone once, someone I loved. It shattered me, made me who I am." Her own breath hitched. For the first time, Lilith felt the weight of his pain, not as a rival, but as a man broken beneath the mask. She hesitated before whispering, "I know loss. It teaches you to build walls." He nodded, and sometimes, those walls become prisons. For the first time, the fierce hunt softened into fragile understanding. But trust wasn't given freely. It had to be earned in the fire of truth. Their fragile bond was tested when an unexpected visitor from Lilith's past appeared. The sixth alpha. He brought anger, regrets, and unresolved tension. "You think you can move on?" He spat at her. "You're still chained to what we had." Lilith's eyes burned with defiance. "I'm not chained. I'm free." The seventh alpha stepped forward, a silent warning in his stance. Secrets began to unravel. The seventh alpha's past wasn't as clean as it seemed. Whispers of betrayals and dark debts shadowed him. Lilith's walls trembled, not with fear, but with the possibility that power was a mask hiding wounds deeper than either of them wanted to face. The tension between them thickened. Each moment weighted with unspoken truths. Every touch, every look became a test of whether they could survive the storm they were creating. What secrets will break them? Will their walls hold? Or will love shatter their carefully built prisons? If you're feeling the heat of this unfolding battle, comment your thoughts below, and don't forget to share with someone who loves a story where passion and pain collide. Lilith stood facing the seventh alpha, the air between them charged with everything unsaid, everything buried. "I've fought for control my whole life," she whispered. "But with you, it's different." He stepped closer, eyes shadowed with pain and something raw vulnerability wrapped in steel. "Maybe that's because you've never truly lost control before." Her laugh was brittle. "Losing control is the last thing I'm willing to do." Suddenly, the past crashed in. The sixth alpha appeared, bruised, angry. A ghost from Lilith's past hellbent on reclaiming what he believed was his. "You're mine, Lilith," he growled, stepping into the fray. But the seventh alpha didn't back down. In the chaos, truth spilled, secrets about betrayal, about scars deeper than skin. Lilith's world shattered and rebuilt in the same breath. The fight was more than physical. It was a battle of wills, hearts, and the raw edges of broken souls. As blows were exchanged and barriers torn down, Lilith realized something she hadn't before. Power wasn't about dominance or submission. It was about trust. And maybe, just maybe, surrender. Breathless and bruised, Lilith and the seventh alpha found themselves face to face. The war between them giving way to a fragile, unspoken truce. The fire between them wasn't extinguished. It had changed. It was no longer a weapon. It was a promise. If you felt the intensity of this breaking point, hit like and share the story with your fellow fans of dark romance. Subscribe for more stories where hearts fight and sometimes find peace. The city was quiet now, the storm having passed, leaving only the scent of rain and something else. Something fragile, like hope. Lilith sat on the rooftop, the night air cool against her skin, her heart still racing from the fight that had shattered everything she thought she knew. The sixth alpha was gone. A ghost fading into the past she was determined to leave behind. Beside her, the seventh alpha's presence was calm, steady, no longer a storm, but a quiet force. He didn't speak at first. Instead, he reached out slowly, fingers brushing her hand, a tentative touch. Lilith tensed, then relaxed, letting herself feel the connection she had fought so hard to deny. "I'm not going anywhere," he said softly. "Not unless you want me to." She looked up, eyes searching his. "For the first time, I want to believe," she whispered. Their world had shifted. Power was no longer just a weapon or a game. It was a choice, to trust, to be vulnerable, to fight together instead of alone. Lilith thought about the 6 alphas before him, what had failed with them, and what could be different this time. Maybe strength wasn't about breaking others. Maybe it was about breaking down the walls around your own heart. The 7th alpha smiled. A small, genuine smile that reached his eyes. "We're not perfect," he said, "but maybe we can be something real." Lilith nodded, the weight of years lifting from her shoulders. The city's first light brushed the horizon, softening the edges of a world that had been sharp and cruel just hours before. Lilith and the 7th alpha stood side by side on the rooftop where it all began. The silence between them no longer heavy, but full of possibility. She traced the scars on her skin, marks of battles fought, lessons learned. He watched her, the weight of his own scars hidden behind a steady gaze. "This isn't the end," he said quietly. "No," she replied. "It's a beginning." For years, Lilith had believed power was everything, a throne built on broken men and burned bridges. But now she understood. Power wasn't about control. It was about courage. Courage to trust. Courage to love. Courage to let the fire burn without fear. He reached for her hand, not to claim her, but to stand with her. In that moment, Lilith realized the hunt was over. She didn't need to conquer an alpha. She had found her equal, her partner, her firebreaker. The city woke around them, oblivious to the war fought in shadows and hearts. But Lilith knew. She had survived. She had grown. And she had finally learned what real power meant. If you've been drawn into Lilith's story, this wild journey of passion, pain, and second chances, hit like, share with your fellow lovers of dark romance, and subscribe to MG's Love Stories. Your next favorite tale is waiting.